Sandra Bullock. Pretty much a household name these days, and yeah, you know her. Everybody does. But let's see how she got famous eventually. Sandra's first role was in a film called Hangmen back in 1987. It's a low-budget action thriller with murky plot and even murky production values. It won't be a surprise to find out, but Hangman never went to the cinema, it went straight to video. It's that kind of film you'll ever found in the discount bin at a supermarket on a rainy Sunday afternoon, and then left it there. The story, as it is, revolves around rogue government agents and political assassinations by men with big guns. It's all very well in 1987. In fact, it's so 1987 that you wouldn't win any prizes for guessing that when you watched it. Dodgy synth music mixed in mono. Over-the-top dialogue.
I did what I had to do. Yeah, we all did.
Dangerous women. And strange camera angles randomly inserted. It ticks all the boxes. And yes, it's all the 1987 you could ever want or wish for. Sandra Bullock plays Lisa Edwards. She's the girlfriend of Danny. And Danny's father is being hunted by the men with the big guns, and now is in the crosshairs for reasons. In order to survive, Danny must get the help of one of his father's old friends who can help bring down the men with the big guns. And, while Danny's off doing that, the head honcho of the men with the big guns decides that Danny's friend Lisa would make an excellent damsel in distress. And that's when Sandra gets brought in to properly do. She has maybe 10 minutes of screen time in the whole film, 15 minutes at the very most. And very little of it is worth watching if I'm honest. We get pretty far from the Oscars here. But yeah, the more famous she got, the more she featured on the film's cover. Odd that. And while the film might be best left in the supermarket bargain bin, this is where Sandra Bullock's film career began. It wouldn't be long after that when she started building something more. After Hangmen came Bionic Showdown, the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. Yeah, that's the full title. Then onto other TV stuff like The Preppy Murder, Lucky Chances, Love Potion No. 9, even a small role in The Vanishing, a Jeff Bridges thriller that came and went. Not the kind of projects that make the front page, but they are exactly the kind of roles that teach you your lines to hit your marks and hopefully somebody notices you doing it. In 1993 somebody would notice, and she landed a major studio role playing Lieutenant Lenina Huxley, a sidekick to Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man. She was funny.
You really licked his ass.
She was weird.
Thank you for the attitude readjustment, Chief Earl. Info assimilated.
And more importantly, she was memorable.
You can take this job and you can shovel it.
And in the same year, Speed. This time she'd be a sidekick to Keanu Reeves, going up against the great Dennis Hopper. And I don't think I need to explain to anybody how popular that film became. It seemed as though she was on her way at last. Unfortunately, as is often the case, this newfound attention brought with it things from the past. Fire on the Amazon was shot in 1990, just before she got noticed, and then released in 1993 when her big roles were starting to come in. Just like Hangmen, it was repackaged with the face all over the cover, her name in big letters, and it was marketed like it was some major Sandra Bullock vehicle, which it wasn't. The worst thing about that marketing, it all came down to one scene in particular, which, well, got blown out of proportion for what it actually is. And understandably, she wasn't thrilled about it all. I mean, who can blame her? She reportedly tried to block the release, or at least distance herself from it, which of course just gave the film more publicity. I guess that's the risk of early work, it doesn't always stay buried. Fire on the Amazon wasn't the surefire hit people behind its release were hoping for, and it remains largely forgotten about, still. But Sandra? Not a chance. She'd become unstoppable. While You Were Sleeping, The Net, Miss Congeniality, The Proposal, she was indeed becoming a force of nature. Sorry about that, I couldn't resist it. Anyway, it wasn't long before the Oscar she didn't get for Hangmen would arrive. The Blind Side in 2009 would see her taking the Best Actress for a leading role, which she'd nearly win again a few years later in Gravity. And then, of course, Bird Box. The one that took over the internet for a while. Yeah, you know that one as well.
Under no circumstance are you allowed to take off your blindfold.
Sandra Bullock didn't just get lucky, she outlasted trends. She bounced between genres. She took control of her career and even producing some of her latest films. And no matter what people say about rom-coms or popcorn thrillers, she showed up. She did the work, and she kept going. She's not just a star, she's consistent. She can even turn up when you least expect her to these days.
Did you need rescuing?
And it all started in a grainy little action flick that nobody talks about and even less people have seen, Hangmen. It's been said by people more famous than me that everyone has 15 minutes of fame, but turning those 15 minutes into a 3-decade career, that takes something else entirely. And that's certainly something Sandra has done with fine style. Anyways, I've been Paul, and Sandra Bullock was famous eventually. Thanks for watching.